Welcome to the podcast. Our celebrity sneeze of the week is Kim Jong-Un. Kim, of course, is the ruthless dictator of North Korea. He is a supreme leader, which is a title that hasn't been around forever. I believe it means something to do with the military, like commander-in-chief. His feces does not emanate from his body, but if it did, it would have worms because of his malnutrition. I don't like to make fun of North Koreans having worms, but I think it's sad. I mean, one little pill, if we just air ballooned in the one little pill to get rid of those worms, and it's not a heavy pill. You could just shoot a bunch of pills into North Korea and get rid of their worms. Why aren't we doing that? It seems like a noble cause. It's like if there was a cure. I mean, I wouldn't want to have worms every day. I'd be like in my seat rubbing around and poking things in there. I'd be like taking a hammer and like whacking them. I would do anything not to have worms. These people have to live with it every day because he's ostracized the country from the outside world. Why? So he can have personal pride and absolute power. And if you've been watching Kim riding horses, you'll notice that the horse is white. Why is that? Because he bleached the horse. There's no such thing as a white horse. I'm convinced that there's no such thing as a white horse, and he bleaches his horses, which is terrible for the horse. Imagine being a horse, having worms, and getting bleached. This is the situation that takes place in North Korea every single day because of Kim and his haircut, which tries to desperately elongate his miserable pug-like head. Anyway, Kim Jong-Un is our celebrity sneeze of the week. We'll start the show now.
You're listening to Sneeze with James Whittingham.
We're going to start off each episode by generating a random color. How's it done? I don't know. It's a computer somewhere else. It's going to generate a color. Not necessarily your favorite colors. It could be an obscure color. It could be a version of your favorite color. And that color is going to stick with us for the rest of the show. You can paint it on the wall. You can look it up on your phone. You can do whatever. But each episode is going to have its own color. So let's generate a random color for this, our first episode. Stand by. Here we go. All right, here we go. Going to generate a random color. Medium orchid. I repeat, medium orchid. This is generated from a computer far away. Don't know how they do it or what colors are involved, but they have generated the color medium orchid. That is officially the color of this episode. From now on, it is a purple. Basically I don't know it's a light purple. If you put a bit of gray in there, just a hint of gray, it's not too purpley. It's a little bit not purple. I don't really understand this color medium orchid. I imagine it's not as dark as dark orchid or full on orchid or light orchid or orchid light, but it is medium orchid, which is a purpley color. So that is our color of this episode. Way back in the pioneering days of podcasting, I had a podcast. And then I went to YouTube. And then I didn't get monetized on YouTube right away. And then I went away from YouTube. And then I came back one day. I was giving a lecture and looked at my YouTube account, and suddenly there was millions of views. I could not explain it. Yeah. So that's how YouTube seduced me out of podcasting. But frankly, I thought podcasting was going to take off back in the day. The day being the early 2000s and mid-2000s. It did not. It evolved slowly. It progressed slowly. But it really didn't take off. And there's been some fast movement over the years around 2012, 2015. But now I feel like it's ready for me and I'm ready for it. So I'm back with a new show called Sneeze. Why is it called Sneeze? We'll get to that. We'll get to that about 38 episodes from now, but not today. Right now, actually, it has a lot to do with the randomness of my reactions and the directions that I will go and want to go. And also has a lot to do with sneezing. which we'll get to in a moment. So the show is me reacting to myself, really. I'm going to generate random topics that I do not know which ones will be selected. I do select the topics and figure things out in advance, but I don't know what those topics will be when they come up, and then I'll have to do it right away. Okay? So the way I'm going to do this is an online virtual prize wheel with the categories filled in by me, and you can help me with this. You can email, or you can sneezeshow at Gmail. You can check me out in all the social media stuff, Sneeze Show usually, or sneeze_show on Instagram, thanks to some jackass who's rotting in a casket somewhere and doesn't use that account anymore, but they freeze it forever. I don't know that he's dead. He should be dead. He could be dead. I don't want him to be dead. Maybe I do. I don't know. It's morally challenging to figure out what I feel about that. But sneezeshow_ on Instagram and sneezeshow everywhere else, okay? And we're everywhere. So I've got this prize wheel. I'm going to spin it. It's going to stop on one of the selections, and then I'm going to talk about whatever that selection is. Let's look at the selections that we have right now, okay? This is going to evolve over time. Right now, it's early days. Today's wheel, and I'll post a picture of the wheel for every show. Okay, today's wheel will have the following categories. Disease is the first category. This is an interesting one. This is one I just added last night. Disease will generate a random disease, which I will then discuss by looking into that disease. Then, and I hope this works out, then I will record a PSA for said disease. Right here for you. I will research the disease, share that information with you, and we'll learn and grow together. And then I will do a PSA saying, please support this disease, and support it by not supporting it, but by making money for scientists who will then cure it. I'm sure there are some diseases where they're not even bothering to cure. We might get to those. I don't know. But we will generate a random disease. That's if the wheel falls on disease, and it may not. Okay? The next category is email. Now, right now, this email is going to be me sending an email nonstop. I will dictate this nonstop. You'll hear it as I type to my friend Victor Lamb, which is an unusual fellow. He's a very interesting fellow, and he will react in unpredictable ways. My other friends, they'll act in predictable ways. Victor, not so much. That's why I chose him. He is the star of Wolf Cop. He plays the confectionery owner in the Wolf Cop series. I met him on a film before that. I've known him for about 15 years. He's a great guy, very religious, although you don't always know that. But you never really can predict what Victor's going to do, say, or think. The next category after that is called net worth, and that is where we randomly generate the name of a celebrity and then find out their net worth. Then discuss whether that celebrity is worth the net worth that they're worth. Okay? I don't know if that'll be fun or not. We'll discuss that. And the next category is horoscopes. Now, if you are a partaker of horoscopes, be warned, I'm going to say some bad things about. They're really stupid. They're the dumbest thing in the world. They are even dumber than you think. If you haven't looked at horoscopes in a long time, they're incredibly stupid. They're just such pandering crap, and people buy into it. When I looked into it, horoscopes were even dumber than I thought, and I can't work with this. But what I found was that they also write teen horoscopes. I'm a Libra, by the way, so we'll be looking at Libra. So, fellow Librans, hey. Libra is much funnier and more interesting when it's written for teenagers. So I'm not a teenager, haven't been for some time, but we will look into what if James was a teenager, what his horoscope would say. So that's one category. The next category is geography. And in that category right now, we will generate the random name of a city or town in the United States of America. Then we'll together explore that town, learn about it, check out the newspaper, and see what kind of town or city that really is. That's one category. The final piece of the pie that spins on this prize wheel that could land on is sneeze. If it lands on sneeze, this is the booby trap square. If it lands on sneeze, I have to snort pepper. Not only do I have to snort pepper, I have to snort pepper, then spin the wheel again and do whatever category that comes up next, even if it's pepper. Continually snorting pepper. Theoretically, I could snort pepper for half an hour and die by the end of the show and be hauled off in 911. That could be my show. Don't think it'll happen, but it is technically possible. So if it lands on the booby trap prize, it's sneeze. That means that I have to snort pepper and then spin the wheel again and do whatever category that comes up under the problem of having pepper in my nose, which is being on the verge of sneezing or sneezing. So that I have no idea what's going to happen, or if it's going to eat through the cavity of my brain. It's too hard to tell. So it's time. It's time, and bear with me. I'm actually quite anxious now that I've discussed this with you. I will spin the wheel. So it's time for the sneeze wheel to spin. I'm scared, frankly. I hope you feel some of my anxiety and fear. Hope you absorb some of it. And I want to bear it all myself. But here we go. I'm going to spin the wheel. The wheel is now spinning. It is spinning rapidly. It is starting to slow. We've gone past the Z's.
Email madness.
Email. Oh my God, it's gone to email. That must mean I have to compose an email nonstop for 1 minute to Victor Lamb without stopping, or I snort pepper. This is my friend Victor Lamb. Dear Victor. I can type very quickly. Dear Victor. I can type very quickly. All the caps are on, but I don't think that matters. All the caps are on, but I don't think that matters. I'm doing a podcast. I trust you are well. I hope that those boils on your ass are healing, because I know mine are. I assume that because I have boils, that you do too. I trust the weather is treating you well. It is certainly making my boils irritated, which, ironically, is irritating to me. Please ignore the photos of my boils that I am sending you. There, we have a email composed to Victor. I don't know how that worked, or if that's any good, or if that's interesting at all. But there's a Victor email composed. I will now press send, and it is off to Victor Lamb. So that's it. That's all I'm going to do this week. It's going to be a very short show. In the future, I might have it at 20 minutes. As we expand the show and add segments and come up with different ideas, maybe it'll be a half an hour. I can't tell the future. If I could, I wouldn't be here talking to you. I'd be on an island somewhere, sucking on a margarita, getting skin cancer. That's what I would be doing, because I would win the lottery. I can't tell the future. But the future is podcasting. Maybe I can tell the future. Anyway, short show this week. Thanks for joining me. Let me round up some things. I want you to subscribe. I want you to, in your podcasting application, whatever you're using, whether it's a website, whether it's Android, what's it called? Google Podcasts, or Apple Podcasts, or Spotify, or any of the other podcasting applications. Subscribe. It's free. If you're new to podcasting, you don't know that, all you got to do is hit subscribe, and you'll keep getting new shows, okay? The other thing is, we're on social media categories. I'm going to go through them right now. This is Sneeze Show on Twitter, Sneeze Show on Facebook. I hate Facebook, but I'm going to be on Facebook for now. Hate it. Screw you, Mark Zuckerberg. You can bite my ass, and I really mean that, Mark. If you are listening, go to hell. Also, Instagram, Sneeze_show, because somebody already has my, the story. It's, never mind. Okay. YouTube. We're on YouTube. These things are going to be on YouTube without video for now, possibly with video later. It's been fun. I think it's going to be interesting. I think some categories won't work and some will be better than others, but we'll work that out. It's going to change every week. It's going to be mixed up a little bit every week, and you can help. You can come up with things that, it has to give me something to talk about, though, but you can suggest things. It's been nice talking to you. I'm James Whittingham, and I'll see you again on the next Sneeze.